Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Aquascaping on the Fly, Living Art Creations, and I'm Anthony, your host and your content creator. Today we have a little bit something we haven't talked on in a long time is foraging, and I wanted to kind of show off some of the foraging that I do and how I prepare it. Now, I'm not going to go through the steps of preparing it because I have videos out there before where I've done it, but I'm going to talk you through each one of the steps that I take to prepare my rocks, gravel, and hardscape that I save for builds, whether it's for the aquarium or the terrarium. It's basically the exact same process. It's just there's an extra element when I'm putting something in an aquarium versus just putting it in a terrarium. I'm a little more wild and loose on the terrariums than I am on the aquarium side. But what I've got set up behind me is some things that I've collected. And I like to do, you guys know that I'm huge nature lover. I mean, I am like this. I'm tight with Mother Nature. And a lot of times I will, in all seriousness, a lot of times I will be out in nature and I'll be talking to Mother Nature and I will be asking for something very specific. And I'll be led straight to something that prompts me to do a build. And what I've got for you here is an example just of that. So a lot of things come to me as things that I need to do as builds, but I don't get to do them right away because everything, I like to stage it out. I do work a full-time job as a flight attendant. So I have to have time between my trips where I can actually work on my projects. But that's what I wanted to show you is when I go out, going out in nature for me is like meditation. It's like a prayer meditation. I'm talking to Mother Nature. I'm out in a park that maybe I've never been to or one that I love to frequent, and I'm looking for something to either give me inspiration or I'm looking for something very specific, maybe something that I want to put in like maybe a terrarium to add to it, like a plant or something, like especially like a native plant, or if I'm looking for something specific like rocks or gravel for an aquarium. So what I want to do is switch the camera around for me to where I can just stand behind the camera, but I can point out the stuff that we've collected here, how I prepared it, and what I think I'm going to use for it. So give me a hot second. Okay, so what you're looking at here is a thrift store bowl that cost me $3. Yes, I know it's an amazing bowl too. I think it's because it was so small, but it has a beautiful bevel and it gets really, the glass at the base of it is really heavy, which I love. And you can see the magnification as you look down the side of it, you can see at the base, it's much thicker glass than is it at the top, like at the rim. But the rock was one piece I picked up. These are tree limbs that I picked up in a dumpster, and then this was thrift stored. So basically this was a $3 arts and crafts. Now, before the glass was put here, just remove it for a second, I did an experiment with, could you take what we call like the Madonna candles, except I was looking at the ones that were the 2-inch, and I got them on sale at Walmart for 50 cents a piece. And I thought, okay, well, if it doesn't work, no big deal. So I got the wax out of them, which was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but I cleaned it out. I had 3 of them, and one was held in suspension here. So one was elevated here, one was down here, and then I broke the third one. So what I put in its place was a pickle jar that sat right here and ended up resting right at this arch on here. So I had those 3 jars and ended up giving the jars away because I do frequently give away my terrariums when I get too many of them. So then the second thing is I didn't get rid of the rock, of course, and the twigs. And when I got this bowl, I thought, oh my gosh, it literally fits perfectly in there, relatively level. And I still haven't figured out what I want to do with that. Part of me does want to put something like a prayer plant in there where it takes up the entire thing and kind of grows out of it, which is probably what I'm going to do. But who knows? I would love to have a little baby aquascape in there, but we know how hard that is to do water like that. So I don't think that's going to be really a viable option. Okay, so now, whoops, sorry, I'm hitting stuff. We're going to get to something that Mother Nature did, so you guys can get a real world example on how this works with me. So like I tell you, I go out and I do say my little meditation prayer. And I was out at this place where I had not been before, and I was talking about the rainbow series tanks that I want to do, which is going to be a series of 5, not 6. I know there's 6 colors in the rainbow, but the artist in me is going to do something different. Well, I was talking to Mother Nature and I said, you know, it'd be great if I could find some gravel so I could put the same type of gravel in all of the tanks. Now, these are going to be 5-gallon tanks, so they're going to be small. And so I said, you know, if I could just find enough gravel. So I'm out looking, and I've said this many times on videos. When you back up, when you go into a park that backs up to a wealthy neighborhood, always check the back side of their fence line, because a lot of people throw stuff over their fence where they think no one's ever going to see it, except Anthony does, because I walk those property perimeters. I found one pebble like this that was gleaming in the sand, in the dirt. And I thought, oh wow, what is that? I started digging, and I found 8 Ziploc sandwich bags of pebbles just like this. It just happens to be that most of the white ones are on top. But I was blown away because some of these are actual quartz rocks in there. The high-end kind, like the ones that you would buy at Michael's. Someone had just dumped these out. They had gotten covered over. I don't know how long they've been there, because they all were covered over in dirt except one. And the one that was down there at the base of it had fallen the furthest from the incline where I was standing. And so it didn't have the ability, I guess, to get soil to cover it completely. And I found it, and it became mine. That's kind of how it works with me. I have an idea, something I say I want, and then I go out looking, and I usually always find something that I can use. I've really been blessed with that. So, I mean, that's one of the amazing things about how this, my spirituality and my love for Mother Nature kind of coexist in this lifestyle hobby that we have, because, you know, we got to save money wherever we can. Right here, just giving you an example of even when I break twigs up for something that I've built, I save my leftover pieces. Here are individual rocks that I'm just saving. You can kind of see a theme here in the middle. These are rocks that may go into the rainbow series. I'm not sure. These are pine cones. I think I got these in Canada. Ooh, but don't say anything, because it's international. I think I did get them in Canada. Over here, I have some dried mushrooms. I love putting these. I'm a huge fan. If you looked at any of my terrariums on my videos, I always try to put mushrooms in them. And then I have these dried sticks here that I have an idea, but I'm not going to disclose it yet, just in case I do it, because it'll be a surprise. I don't know if I can do it. It may be too hard, but we'll see. But I want to show you one other. We're going to have to move the camera for this one. All right, so you see these. I've collected these. These are the longest running pieces of wood structures I have. They're the same color sequence. I think these are going to go into the rainbow series, because I love how they are, but I'm not sure, because I didn't leave as much. I couldn't leave as much room as I wanted above the rainbow series shelving, maybe to use these in that. But these would also be really, really good in a terrarium. They'd be fantastic in a terrarium. Okay, so now I'm going to clear off what's on the countertop now and show you what I'm working on. Before we get to the next stage, I might forget, so we're going to talk about the prep work. All right, so let's say I'm bringing in some rocks. The first thing I'm going to do is, for rocks, I have like a wire brush, and I brush the rocks off completely. And then I do put them in a hot bath with soap, and I wash them. And then once I wash them, I actually do boil mine. I know a lot of people say don't boil them because they have air pockets in them. I've never encountered a problem. I was really, really lucky. There was a massively huge sale on Amazon one day, and I was needing a large pot. And I was going to buy a stock pot, like from Walmart, but there was nothing less than $35. So I went on to Amazon, there's one of those lobster pots, which came with the thermostat and the massive strainer that's in it. It's like this big, and the pot was like, huge, and it was $17. I could not believe it. So I was expecting this really cheap product to show up. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. This is high quality. This is literally what you could use in a restaurant. It has all the accessories, which I don't use. I just put rocks in it, and it's amazing. I just put my rocks in there and boil them. And then I do another rinse cleaning, just to make sure I got everything off of them. And then they're usually good after that. And sometimes I'll put them in like a little hydrogen peroxide bath first, if I think there's anything organic on them that may affect, like if it's going to go into an aquarium. And it's basically like the same process for the wood that I bring in, except the wood, I do not use a bristle brush. I use like an old paintbrush, and I brush the wood off completely. And then I use the sprayer on my kitchen sink to wash any of the debris off. And then I fill the sink up. I have a really big sink. I fill it up. I put the wood in there and I weight it down. And I leave it in there normally for about 4 hours, anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. I want to see what that wood is going to be like when it's fully hydrated, to make sure there's no soft spots on it. And then that's when I take a scrub brush and like a little handheld scrub brush, and I scrub all the wood down. I try to get it as clean as possible, and I do a minimum high boil of 30 minutes. So when I have a large piece, I boil half of it and then turn it upside down and boil the other half. And sometimes I'll boil for an hour just to make sure I'm getting everything, but it doesn't always necessarily work, because I've had pieces that have gone into terrariums that immediately they've got mold right on them. So what I started doing with Some of Thy Wood is I bought that the spray glue, Gorilla Glue. It's clear. It's safe for aquariums, just like the glue that we use in our aquariums. And I just spray a fine mist over it. I do it a couple of times to make sure I get into all the grooves. And that way, that really helps protect the wood from rotting so quickly, because I'm not using typical aquarium wood. I'm using wood that I just find outside, and which will decay. But what I'm trying to do is slow that process down, because when I collect a piece of wood and I fall in love with it, I don't want to lose it right away. So I do try to prep it as good as I can. So the wood that I'm going to bring in right now and show you is wood that's had its light coat of the glue sprayed on it. So it's already been cleaned, boiled, prepped, and had its glue coating on it. So it's going to give it almost like, some pieces will give you like a little bit of a wet shine, which I like, because then you know exactly what color that wood's going to look like when it goes into the water, because the color's not going to change. And you don't have to worry about the spray on the wood. It does not show up as white like glue does. It's such a fine mist that it does not show up like that, which is amazing. So let me grab that and we'll continue the tour. Okay, we're going to have to go freestyle, because I do not want to miss any of the details on some of this stuff. Now, this one previously was anchored to my wall. See there? There's a screw hole. Doesn't mean I can't use it. Who knows what I'll use this for? It's got a cool vibe. This one here, anything that has a curve to it, I'm always drawn to. So I could see where these deep grooves, I could put Boost or Anubias in there, and I don't have to anchor it to anything else. Okay, this one in the front, this one here, this has a red tint to it, and you don't see that usually around here in Texas. I love this. I think it's beautiful. It has such a rough exterior that I know a lot of biofilm will grow off of this, and I know that the shrimp will love crawling all over this, because look at that. See how it's already standing up? And that's not because of the glue. Now, this little piece here, I got it just because it is so gnarly, and I thought, oh my gosh, it could be so incredible given the right build. It actually literally could stand up like this if you propped it with a rock. I love pieces that do that. This one, again, has holes all in it. You could attach your plants in there and have something automatically that could hold them, because I'm all about not gluing. Well, of course I can't glue. I've tried gluing the plants in and I'm horrible at it. Okay, this had another piece that matched it, but when I went to clean it, it fell apart. So I was gonna do an arch. So now I only have one, so I'm not sure I'll be able to do anything with that one. Okay, now here are my wings, what I call my little wings. Let's start with this one here. These are the ones that I would stand up and have them come out of the tank. Love this deep, deep groove. Oh, you know, that is perfect for attaching plants to it. It will look amazing. Here's an island. You could just see your little shrimps grazing on this. They would just love it. And now here's one piece that lost its base in the cleaning process. So the base kind of rotted away, but I'm left with this part. So we could still attach this to something to hold it. It looks like a wing, actually. It really looks like a wing. It's a cool piece. Now, this one here I love because it's really simple, but look. It's got these great little openings in here. I think there's more on it. Yes, look at this. If you wanted to lay it like this, you have this whole little strip down the middle that you could expand it with a screwdriver and put some plants in it to where they could grow like in a row. That's kind of hard to find. I like that. And I love how it's eaten out. Now, it very much matches this one. So this one is just riddled with it. Yes, it has a hole as well. There too. This one just has this freaky, it's got a freaky color, freaky look. This one, I knew where I was going to put it, and then I forgot I had it, so it did not go into the tray I meant what it was going into. Okay, here's two of my favorites. I am drawn to the big pieces. Oh my gosh, this is high drama. Look at that end. Oh my God, wouldn't that just be amazing? Having this as the base inside of your tank. You'd have to have a really big tank for this. Yeah, it's, oh my God, so cool. Even the backside is cool. I mean, look at that. That would be beautiful sitting in your tank with all your little fish running all over it. Oh my gosh, it would be awesome. Now this one, I had envisioned what I was going to do to it, and my plants died. I was trying to get bobitis to grow in a tub, and it just didn't. And bobitis was going to go into this, that deep, deep crack. I was going to attach my bobitis in there. I thought it's going to be perfect. Nope, didn't want to do it. Now here's the backside. I mean, it's just as pretty on the backside. As a matter of fact, the coloring is amazing from the backside, because it's black and tan. So that would look great underwater. And it's that, again, that rough texture, your shrimp are just gonna love it. So you can see by the size of these pieces, I don't shy away. Everything I have is medium to larger sized. This is all stuff I just pick up from my excursions outside. I have stuff that I've also picked up, like leaves and acorns and dried leaves, and if I ever want to do a backwater. But I hope this, guys, I hope this helps you out, gives you an idea. This is what you can expect to really get when you go out into Mother Nature. Focus on the little things and just see what is in front of you and what you might be able to use inside your build. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you either in the skies or on my next video update. Have a great day. Bye-bye.